Betting on sports can be hard, but hiring Morgan & Morgan is easy. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They have over 100 offices nationwide and more than 1,000 lawyers. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/bestbets or dial #law, #529 from your cell phone. That's forthepeople.com/bestbets. This is a paid advertisement.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard are here to make you a friend of ours.
That would mean you were made, guy.
Investigating what is and isn't legit.
That's a fugazi. All right? That's a fugazi. I looked at it for 2 seconds.
Seeing through the lines to make you a better.
I know you know. And I know you know I know you know.
The FTM Army is being sent for.
In our thing, you get sent for, you go in alive, you come out dead. And it's your best friend that does.
These two wise guys would never steer you wrong.
Forget about it.
This is Real or Fugazi on Follow the Money.
Hungry for pizza every time I see the open.
Fugazi.
And hear it as well. No, that's real. It's real. I could eat pizza 3 times a week. You?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always get fired up when we coming into work, and also with this open, because number one, you go to this side of town, and that's where they filmed Casino at Piero's, with that scene in the booth with De Niro and Stone. And then they also, when they had dinner right across there at Oscars, where they filmed that as well with the table. And it's just, every time I come into work, I see that. I go, yep, that was the scene. De Niro and Sharon Stone filming that where they're having dinner. And you take my daughter away from me? What are you nuts? Excellent.
Oscar's great cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Piero's, you got to get the chicken parm. It's this big.
Is it?
It's the size of the plate.
Gotta go back. The history.
You'll be blown away when you go there.
Tark set up shop there every year.
No kidding. The Rams started 1-4. They're now 8-6. I don't want to see them in the playoffs. Is that real or fugazi?
That's fugazi. Because I have to, Detroit? Green Bay? Minnesota?
Detroit beat them in overtime.
To Philadelphia?
Week 1.
I mean, I got the whole NFC is a landmine.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's like, if I go down the list, though, I think Minnesota's better, even though they lost head-to-head. Green Bay's going to be a handful. It's just...
Well, I guess my point is this.
I'm going to have a tough game no matter what.
Here's my point. Of those teams you just mentioned, right, at the very top, Detroit, Philadelphia, Minnesota, there was a path earlier this year where some weaker teams are going to get in. The Rams are not going to be a weak team in the playoffs. That offense can move, baby.
I know, but I should be able to move it on them. That's why it was so disappointing with the 49ers last night. The Rams do not have a good defense. But any event, 49ers, biggest disappointment in the NFL this year, real or fugazi?
It's teetering on real, so I'll go, yeah. I mean...
To miss the playoffs? This team couldn't make the playoffs? The Jets embarrassed themselves, but again, it's 14 years in a row now. I guess you can't fall over. This didn't work out. For the 49ers to lose these games, have a horrible division record, and not even make the playoffs, that's embarrassing.
I should have had a bet on that to happen because...
Yeah, you loved under 11.5.
One of my favorite win totals in the last 5 years, certainly my strongest one this year, was 49ers under 11.5. And I didn't play any alt-unders. I didn't play them to miss the playoffs, but I will say, yes, most disappointing because they had everybody back again this year to make a run at the title. The Jets have missed the playoffs for 14 straight years. So truly, right? I mean, and Jets fans who are listening to the program will always remind us, guys, it's the Jets. Trust me on this. They're not going to do a damn thing.
Yeah.
So the 49ers have to be top of the list. Saquon Barkley, Lamar Jackson, and Jared Goff are still capable of winning the MVP. Is that real or fugazi? I'm putting you on the spot right now.
Fugazi. I don't think Goff can get there, and it's reflected in the number. There's not enough time. I think Barkley can have that big moment against Pittsburgh, but what Allen has done, they've already won the division, probably worst case 2 seed. Just don't make a fool of yourself Sunday. $4 for a reason. Barkley or Allen. Goff can't get in that discussion.
I'll throw a path at you. What if Allen repeats the game he had against Houston? where he was, 9 of 30 in the game?
Yeah, he's terrible.
Awful. And Goff is 22 of 25, 303 touchdowns.
God. And then Barkley is an average game?
Yeah, average.
I still think Allen will close strong with 2 against the Patriots and 1 against the Jets, and he'll get there. And then it's just, if that would, it's going to get the 2 seed at least.
All right, forget these college quarterbacks. Travis Hunter should be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Is that real or fugazi?
That is real. Yes, absolutely. Just because it's a coin flip with these guys. I like Cam Ward, but go back to what we were saying, how we finished at Washington State. Top 2, Field Yates has got him going number 2.
I know.
And then Sanders, I know we talked to one NFL expert, it was off the air, but he's just concerned about the baggage and what that would look like as well, which I think he'll be a good pro, but it's a big leap to go number 1 overall. So I
like him as well.
I would have to take Hunter as the sure thing, and just with so many snaps and what he can bring immediately on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and again, like it is every single year with this team's picking at the top, they probably need a quarterback. Most of them do anyway. So these guys are going to be going to horrendous football teams, and they're going to be starting from day 1. And it doesn't work out as often as people think. In fact, it flops way more often than it works, especially right out of the gates.
Why don't I trade down and take one of the quarterbacks?
That's exactly right. And by the way, I think somebody would be willing to trade up for Travis Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Expect to see A-plus play calling from Detroit OC Ben Johnson on Sunday against the Bills.
Why?
Real?
Why are you on this? Why? I don't have an opinion. Why do you feel? I don't know. Why do you say that?
When they had the bye this week against against Dallas, they had that extra week to prepare.
Okay. Yeah.
And he did it a little bit too much, trying to get an offensive lineman a touchdown. But in that game, when you go back and look, he was breaking out stuff that was just pure genius. Mm-hmm. And in big spots, by the way, Detroit brings their A game usually, and they've had extra time to get ready for the Buffalo Bills.
There was blowback on the Sewell nonsense, though.
Well, he did that recently. That was absurd what he was doing.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah. Maybe Dan told him to dial it back. I don't know.
Okay, all right.
And we'll see if you're right.
You disagree?
Yeah.
All right. Last night sealed the deal. The 49ers cannot pay Brock Purdy the going rate. Real? Fugazi?
Real. I would fire Shanahan, too.
Oh, you can't say that.
Yes, I can.
You can't say that.
Yep.
Paul, who are you going to get to replace him?
I'm done with Shanahan.
You're not going to get anybody even close to that guy to replace him. What candidate are you going to get to replace Kyle Shanahan?
Who says he's that good?
Okay. I don't disagree with that because the roster has been amazing.
Yes, it has been.
But it's
an embarrassment of riches. He blows games.
Also, I would tell you that he's done a pretty damn good job with questionable quarterbacks here.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to get anything. Give me the best guy that they can land. Name the guy. There isn't a single human being out there.
Sure there are. I can steal people. There's people all over the place. Dan Lanning.
He's going to be better than Kyle Shanahan at the NFL? No, you can't fire him. That's fugazi.
You don't like it?
You should be drug tested for that comment.
How about Mike McDaniel?
No, I don't like Mike McDaniel.
No, I'm saying he should be fired too, right? Look at these records against teams with a winning record. I've totally flipped on that guy. He did a terrible job this year.
Here's what I want to see.
You have too many weapons. How do you score 6 points in a must-win?
I agree.
You got weapons all over the place. You can blame Debo. That's fine. That's fair. But you can't keep blowing double-digit leads. You can't lose at home. You can't lose at home.
No, that's
get swept
bad.
by the Rams.
That's
you
really
can't
bad.
lose at home to Arizona. You can't lose at home to Seattle.
This might be an unfair comment, but I want to see the Dolphins, and it probably can't even happen. What do the Dolphins look like for a full year of Tua Tagovailoa with this offense? We saw last year they were a playoff team. They blew the division. But I think that they're a playoff team and a potential division winner. His numbers are awesome.
Yeah, I know, but it all comes back to the record against teams with when teams are winning record and good playoff teams. And
he couldn't get it work with guys like
the other thing
Huntley.
too, whether that's on the coach or not, it's the cold weather thing. That you're going to have to go in the elements in January, and you're going to get beat, and it's going to look ugly.
Do not bet on other games with high totals to have 0 touchdowns scored at crappy odds based on last night.
1,000% real.
Okay.
And that's going to be very popular after what happened.
I just saw a ticket on X. Somebody had 500 to 1 at the Westgate. Mm-hmm. They had $11 on it.
Yeah. They'd hire Bill Belichick. After that buyout goes down to $1 million.
Okay. Okay.
How about Vrabel?
No, he's not better than Shanahan.
Oh,
Vrabel's good. I wouldn't want him in San Francisco.
not a good fit?
I just think they're
Okay, all right, how about this? I tell Shanahan, clean up his act. I'll bring in Saleh to run the defense.
Okay, yeah. I'm on board.
First things, all right.
That can happen.
He was a good defensive
Sure he
coordinator.
was.
All right, I'll
Yep.
do that. We'll meet in the middle.
Last one here. And again, based on what happened last night, and we'll go full circle. They were 1-4. They're going to go over their win total. They're now favored to win their division.
Yeah, yep.
McVay, 75-1, coach of the year. He can do this. Real or Fugazi?
Yes, real. McDermott, out.
Yep.
Andy Reid, still they'd have to go, they have to win every game the rest of the way. Harbaugh, no. People expected this. Peyton, yes, absolutely. How many games did the Broncos win? The win total was 5.5. Tomlin, yes, but how do they close, right? That you could say if they lose a couple games, he could be out too. If they win out with what they had to deal with these injuries and if that team wins 11 games, he can pull this. Dan Campbell can't be minus $2.
No, he can't be.
I expected this. You expected it. They went to the NFC title game and blew a double-digit lead. This is, I don't care. Andy Reid also had injuries. No.
How about O'Connell, though? O'Connell is...
That's your big boy.
Yeah.
That's hard to overcome.
Because if the Lions slip a little bit...
He's stunk his whole career. If they win 13 games, and they're going to, that's my... I'd have to go O'Connell, coach of the year. But there's certainly... by the way, LaFleur out, too. Because he got swept by Campbell.
Right.
But, yeah.
I can make the case, as you just did, for McVay to jump a lot of these guys. I don't think I can make the case for him to jump Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, right. It's an incredible job.
I think he's going to be blocked, even though the Rams beat him.
Right. O'Connell, Tomlin, Peyton. Campbell and Reed, I think, would have to go 16-1.
What a race.
It is. It's nuts.
Phenomenal. Nigel Seeley joins the program next. We'll get his best bets in soccer coming up here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We will close with plenty of picks and props coming up, and we'll get to Nigel in a second. In sports betting and trading, probability is a key to success. Discover the power of high probability trading with Todd Bubba Horowitz, former floor trader and sports bettor with over 45 years of experience. Visit bubbatrading.com/VSiN. Use code VSiN500 to save $500. Don't miss the chance to gain the edge in your trading game today. bubbatrading.com/VSiN. Promo code VSiN500. Good to have you aboard. Always check out VSiN.com, the prop analyzers, all the great content, including Nigel Seeley, who's been hot with his picks. He always does his weekly write-up on soccer and the Premier League. And we start with the Premier League and Saturday early with Arsenal and Everton. Take it away, Nigel.
Hello everyone, it's Nigel Seeley here, back again for a very exciting weekend of Premier League action at the top and at the bottom of the best league across the world for soccer bettors. The first match I'm going to concentrate involves Arsenal, who slipped up last week with a draw at Fulham. I expect them to bounce back to winning ways when they host Everton at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal are very, very heavy favourites here, almost minus $5 to win this match. Everton are around about 1,400 and the draw is plus 510. Arsenal have been unbeaten at home this season, 9 wins and 2 draws in their 11 matches at the Emirates in all competitions. And for Everton, not a good run at the moment. They've lost their last 3 road matches. They haven't scored in any of those matches, and they failed to score in 4 of their last 5. Now, the last 3 home matches for Arsenal included the midweek 3-0 win against Monaco. They won 10-0. Last season, no team won 10-0 more than Arsenal in the Premier League. And if they are going to close Liverpool down, Tottenham almost said there, if they are going to close Liverpool down at the top of the Premier League table, they're going to do so with that brilliant defence, Saliba and Gabriel. We know how good they are from set pieces. We know Saka assists. We know the strength from the defenders from corners. And I expect Arsenal to win 10-0. So instead of betting minus 500 on Arsenal on the money line, Arsenal to win and not concede a goal is minus 110. And I think that is the best bet in what looks a tricky little weekend of fixtures in the Premier League. So Arsenal minus 110 to win 10-0 against Everton. My second bet is on Sunday, and it's a prop, actually. It's in the match involving Chelsea. Chelsea are at home, and they score goals at home. They're exceptionally good at home getting goals, and they're up against the side, I can't remember who they are, Brentford, that is it. Brentford have been brilliant at home, not so good away from home. And Chelsea, I expect to score lots and lots of goals. They've been a breath of fresh air this season. They've scored 16 goals in their last 5 matches at Stamford Bridge, and the main man for them who gets the goals is their striker, Cole Palmer. I don't think there's a better player in the Premier League at the moment than the England international Cole Palmer. And you can bet Palmer at even money to score at any time. Now, at the moment, he's only a couple of goals behind Haaland. He's behind Salah, I think, by 2 goals. He is the informed player. If this was a Haaland or a Salah playing this match at home to Brentford, those players would be about minus 275. At even money, Cole Palmer, who takes penalties, scored 2 penalties last time out against Tottenham. I expect Cole Palmer to get on the score sheet in another convincing win for Chelsea, who host Brentford, who are dreadful on the road. 7 matches, 6 defeats and 1 draw. In the lower leagues, I'm only going to give you 2 bets there. If you want to get some more of my props and more of my bets in the Premier League, you can on the VSiN website on the app in my Premier League column. 1 bet for you in English lower leagues, and it's a team that I have been with since the start of the season, MK Dons. They had a terrible start. They've won 6 successive matches now in the league, in League 2, and they've moved up to just inside the playoff places. I think they're the best team in this league. I believe they win this league. If you want to bet them on the futures, MK Dons are a fantastic bet at around about 7-1. They have the richest owners in the league. They're owned by the Kuwaiti royal family. They will spend fortunes in January, and as long as they're in touching distance, I think they'll come on in the second half and win this division. The bookmakers haven't rebased on them. They are still being priced up as though they're a sort of a mid-table to top 6 side. They're better than that. They're an automatic promotion bet for me. I like them this weekend to beat Gillingham. They're minus 133. It may be a little bit short for people, but in my opinion, they should be minus $2 to win this match. So MK Dons to beat Gillingham. I watched Gillingham last week, or a couple of weeks ago actually, in a match against Bromley. They lost 2-1. They create lots of goal-scoring chances, but they can't put the ball in the back of the net. But MK Dons can. In their last 8 matches, they've scored at least 2 goals. So they've got the firepower. Gillingham don't. They're a real good side. League 2, MK Dons, minus 133. So they're my 3 picks for you. Firstly, Arsenal to win 2-0 against Everton, minus 110. Cole Palmer, the informed Cole Palmer, to score at any time, Chelsea against Brentford at even money. And finally, in England's League 2, MK Dons, minus 133 to beat Gillingham. Come on, the Dons. I think they win the league as well. If you're not on the futures, if you've got a book that takes the price, $7, MK Dons to win League 2. That'll pay for Christmas and next year's Christmas as well. Take care. I'll speak to you all again next week, and check out my column on the VSiN website and app.
Oh, excellent. He's a pro, baby. And I have futures on MK Dons before the season.
So he's saying add more on them.
Yeah, he's saying add more because how much their money they have and they're going to spend in January. They are in 7th place in the table. They have 2 games in hand on Port Vale and Doncaster, who are 2nd and 3rd. So if you're assuming you're going to give them 2 wins there, with the 2 games in hand, that puts them only 1 back Walsall. So that's big.
I got them at 8-1. They're 7-1 right now, huh? Add some more? Okay.
Good breakdown. I got a juicy one for you in League 1.
Okay.
You're not to be trifled with. Do not mess with the Wycombe Wanderers. Wycombe, top of Table 1. They lead League 1. They're playing Shrewsbury Town, worst team in the league. There's a 29-point disparity there in the table.
Okay.
They're like $1.30.
What's going on? What do we need to know about it?
Goes back to what we're talking about with the meat man all the time too, right?
With
we just had this
Port Vale
and Morecambe, whatever it was. So I don't care. We're road, home, whatever. Pakistan doesn't. I'm going to take the team that's in first place against the worst team and lay the $1.20.
That was League 1?
That's League 1. That's Wycombe. Wycombe against the Wanderers. Yes, against Shrewsbury Town. So your level of excitement for Army Navy, and do you have an opinion? 16-1-1 under run.
I'm always excited about this. I did travel back east.
You went to one of the games.
A couple times in a row. One time it was in Philadelphia. Other time was in Baltimore. It was so cool to be back there. So, I mean, this game is always going to be. But that's been, even before I ever went back, I was like, this thing, you have to watch it on TV.
This is also, how often do you see these teams this good and with this record?
Well, never.
I mean, Army 11-1, almost. I mean, stranger things have happened, but you had to beat Notre Dame, but it was actually in the rankings discussion and playoff discussion. Certainly if someone stubbed their toe a couple times down the stretch, Boise included, maybe they could have snuck in there. That win against Tulane in that environment was awesome.
Well, hold on. So now the total's back to 40?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
So 40 down to 38, back to 40?
Yeah, it's the same handicap, though. They're looking at each other in the mirror. I mean, Navy slings it a little bit, but it's what Army's going to do. Here comes Daly 35 times.
Right. So my question would be for the number going back to 40 is, are we putting too much stock in how good the offense has been overall this year compared to how these teams know each other and what you just said? It's been similar. I mean, for 100 years, they ran exactly the same stuff, and that's why the games would be 17-13 final. But I like your bet if anybody can find that, and that would be no score in the first 5.
Mm-hmm.
You probably got to lay $3 or something like that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's
$1.50? What?
I don't know. So I'm anxious to see.
I thought it would be a huge number.
I don't know how it would be. It hasn't been that outrageous the last couple of years.
There's also money on Navy.
Well, it's a tough spot, don't you think? I mean, you're coming off that tough game in terms of the scheduling spot where you go how you had to finish, right? Notre Dame, then the Tulane game. You had the close call against San Antonio. Things flip. You get the game at home, and Navy's been sitting around with a double bye, what they had.
Well, okay, so will you be shocked if this is 23-3 Army final score?
Yes.
So you expect it to be much closer than that?
Yeah.
I just think that this Army team is the best one that we've seen.
They're awesome. And the defense is real, too. 11th against the run.
Yeah, they're like really... So what? They got blown up by Notre Dame.
Yeah. A lot went wrong
That's not
for
the
him.
be-all, end-all.
He had the block punt early on, yeah.
And let's be honest here.
Well, Notre Dame might win the whole thing.
Right, and Navy also got blown out by them.
Yes.
So when these two teams, let's say Army played other teams that are in the playoffs, maybe they would lose by 30 every single time. So would Navy. But maybe when these two teams play, I think this is the best Army team that we've ever seen, ? I wasn't alive when they were winning titles back in the 40s, Pauly.
And I don't know. But I am also here for the props just because of Superman at quarterback. And Daly, 29 touchdowns. $4 anytime touchdown. Plus 165 first touchdown of the game.
Okay, I don't hate that.
Only 4-1 to score 3 times. $1.90 to have 110 yards rushing.
Again, I will say this. Again, I was trying to find a way to attack Ashton Genty props middle of the season when he was like minus 4,000 to score a touchdown. You could find, in some cases, like 2-1 to score the game's first touchdown. And it came in like 3 straight weeks. People are going to say, terrible value. Well, that's the game plan. He was going to run the ball a lot and potentially break one off, and they were playing bad teams, so they weren't going to score right away. If Army gets the ball first, are you not feeling like exceedingly good about having him plus 165 first touchdown of the game? I would be.
I'm fine with it, too, if Navy gets it.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a good defense, Army.
Sure, true.
They got a hell of a team.
VSiN host Mike Somich on the program coming up next. He has a ton of bets he likes, including player props in the NFL. He'll run them down for you coming up here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, we're going to send a lot of picks in right now. A lot of bets, a lot of player props. VSiN host Mike Somich joins us here in studio. He does a great job on the weekends here. His show is called Ready, Set, Bet, Saturday and Sunday evenings on VSiN with Matt Braun. Good to see you again, sir. How are you?
Doing great. Happy to be back here in Vegas. Had a weekend off last week. Was home with the family. Was solo parenting, which is always a little tough on the weekends. We got the full college football slate, the full NFL slate. So excited to be back and focused here in Vegas.
I asked Pauly what his best bet was in the NFL this weekend.
Ooh.
He paused, smiled, and he goes, the Jets. You like him too?
I do love me some Jets this weekend.
Oh,
It's my second favorite bet on the board. I can't get to them laying 3 in this situation. You got that terrible Jacksonville defense. I don't think their offense is nearly as good as what people project. You look at that game last weekend where you have the Jacksonville Jaguars beating the Titans 10-6, and it was just the Titans should have won that game by multiple scores. They just did what the Titans do when they got down to the red zone. On the other side, this Jets team got that passing game going against Miami, and now you get to walk in and take on a Jacksonville secondary they should be able to eat up. If you've been watching my segments on this show, I have been trashing the Jacksonville secondary week after week after week, and now you get an opportunity where, no, the Jets have not been great against man coverage, but those are against better teams. Now you got a situation where we're laying just 3 points across the board here. I think that's too low. I thought this game should be closer to 4.5, so I like the Jets quite a bit on Sunday, and I want to take advantage of this game from a player prop perspective as well. We saw Aaron Rodgers go over 300 yards for the first time in what feels like a decade last week against the Dolphins. When you're looking at the man coverage, I want to focus specifically on Devontae Adams. So I like Rodgers over his passing prop. That's sitting at 232.5 right now. I think that should be closer to 250. But Adams is his go-to guy when you're sitting in that man coverage. He's going to look at that back shoulder throw. He's going to try and look for those slants with him. Right now, Adams sitting at just 65.5 from a receiving perspective. I'll take the over on Adams on that number. And then I'm going to ladder him all the way up to 120. You can get 100 yards at plus 320, and you get 120 yards at plus 600. So like Adams quite a bit this weekend. And then give me some Allen Lazard as well. He got injured. People kind of forgot about him.
Sure.
If you rewind to this part of the season where you had Adams, you had Wilson, you had Lazard.
It was a bromance.
Lazard was getting like 50 plus a game.
He was.
And everyone kind of forgot. And now we're sitting at 22.5 yards. I like Allen Lazard quite a bit to go over that 22.5 yard mark as well. So I will be heavily invested in this Jets game and watching it, which is, I guess, my penance here for betting on the Jets and picking some player props.
Okay. What are you thinking here with the Lions game under?
54.5 is too high. It's one of those stances where, like, I made this game 52.5, and we just keep going and going and going. I have actually not bet this yet. I'm going to see if we can get the 55 before I put it in. If I start seeing any type of under money, I'll put a half unit at 54.5 and see what it ends up at. But when I look at this game, and I break this down as to how Detroit wants to stay in the game. We know they're banged up on the defensive side. It's going to be all about the running game. So then you ask yourself the question, can Detroit run the football against Buffalo? Well, I think it's a pretty resounding yes. I mean, the Bills are giving up 123 yards per game on the ground. It's a big, physical Detroit offensive line. You've got a two-headed backfield in Montgomery and Gibbs. If I'm Detroit, my game plan this week is to just bleed the clock, keep your defense off the field as much as possible and run the football. If they have success doing that, it will be very difficult to get to 54.5 unless it's all sevens in this game. So I like the under there. You can find Lions team total rushing props at 134.5 for the game. I'll take the over on 134.5. That's available on Caesars right now. It's not up on DraftKings. But that team total rushing to me is very interesting. If I took one guy, it'd be Gibbs, because he plays in every game state here. If Buffalo gets up big, he's the running back they have trying to come back. If it's a close game, you're going to see them going back and forth on drives between Gibbs and Montgomery. But I just like the team total over 134.5 rush yards.
Would you play a combination there of either one of those guys rushing and receiving? Bills, majority of the year, they were really bad against guarding running backs in the passing attack.
Again, it'd be Gibbs, if anybody, for me.
Sure,
because
okay.
if you are in chase mode here, Gibbs is going to be your running back because he's just so much more explosive. He's more the guy that can create big plays and create points for you. Montgomery's great, but he's not going to bust the 50, 60-yard play all that often. That's something Gibbs consistently do. This would be one where if you have in-game props available as well, I would take a look at if the Bills get up 10 points, if the Bills get up 14 points, I want to come in on Gibbs props because he's going to be the running back that's going to get the majority of the snaps in that type of game state.
That's going to become very popular, by the way. Live in-game player props.
I love it.
It's awesome.
I mean, especially at halftime when you can sit and you know what the script is going to be in the second half. Matt and I on Ready, Set, Bet, we're on during the Sunday Night Football game, and we have absolutely killed it with live player props because you can jump in and you understand exactly what one team's goal is going to be to move the football and then focus in on the players that projects to help.
Very good.
Monday night doubleheader. Why are the Vikings only 6.5 against this dead Bears team?
I have no clue. So you mentioned the Jets, favorite bet right here. Give me the Vikings minus 6.5 is my favorite bet on the card. I absolutely love this one. We're seeing it tick up to 7 here at Circa. It just went to 7 at DraftKings as well. If you can find a 6.5 on the Vikings, I think it's an awesome number. If you wind back to week number 12, these two teams played in Chicago. The Vikings were a 3-point favorite that day. I have the Vikings as a point better, and the Bears is a point worse since week 12. So I would have made that spread 5. Then you flip for home field advantage. Vikings have one of the best home field advantages in the NFL. On top of it, you get a Monday night game. I make this game like 8.5. So I was shocked this was sitting underneath that total. And people that look back and say, well, Chicago had success against this Vikings defense in that game. Well, kind of, sort of. They were down 17 points in the fourth quarter. The game went to overtime. The Vikings ended up winning by 3, but it took a touchdown, 2-point conversion, onside kick, and field goal in the last 2 minutes to push the game to overtime. So it really wasn't that close, and you had a lot of breaks that went Chicago's way late in that game. This Vikings team right now on offense specifically is a truck. They should be able to run the ball with Jones. They've got multiple good pass options, both the wide receivers and the tight end. So I think Minnesota picks the score offensively, and I think the defense plays a lot better and is able to close the game out this time.
Yeah, that's a good bet. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mike Somich, our guest. His show is called Ready, Set, Bet, Saturday and Sunday nights right here on VSiN. Player props now. I bet the over 42.5 in the Cowboys-Carolina game. Both defenses are so bad. You want to attack this again with another player prop. Who do you like?
Yeah, I do. I kind of want to bet the Cowboys +3.
I do too.
I made this Panthers -1, so I wasn't surprised when they became the favorite. I'm surprised it's gotten to 3, though. The full field goal here seems like we're getting a little aggressive. I don't mind the over. Both of these rushing defenses absolutely stink. I don't hate the Dowdle prop, but I'm going to go with Hubbard instead on the Carolina side. If you've watched this Carolina team all season long, they will feed Hubbard no matter the game state. So even when they're down, they're still trying to find ways to get Hubbard to 20 carries. Well, now you have a game state where it looks like that's probably going to be something you want to do, where if you have a lead, you want to protect it. And if you're in a close game, you're going to attack this Cowboys rush defense, which stunk before the injury last week. Now you lose your best linebacker, and all of a sudden we're sitting in a position where the third worst rush defense in the NFL probably is going to be even worse this week. And you get Chuba Hubbard, who's consistently getting a lot of carries. He's sitting at 81.5. I'll take the over on 81.5 rush yards, and I'll ladder him up to 100. You can get +160 on over 100 yards here. Like I said, I like Dowdle too, but I think Hubbard is guaranteed to get those carries based on the way this game state's going to be.
How about Washington pounding the Saints? Off the bye, Hayner's the quarterback.
It feels like it's one of those spots where Washington should just be able to take care of business. I'm upset with myself. I didn't get a 7 on this game. Now we're sitting at 7.5. I think it's probably your best teaser leg on the board.
Okay.
If you can't get the 6.5 on the Vikings, I don't hate the Vikings tease with Washington. You can play those two together, get them both 1.5 right there. I really like Jaden Daniels' rush prop over 40.5 here. This is another situation where early in the season we were seeing this rushing number significantly higher for him. Then we had the rib injury, and all of a sudden the carries went down. Well, we had 6 teams have a late bye this year. Washington, one of those 6 teams, you saw Daniels get healthy when he got to the bye. Now you have the full week. I think you're going to see Daniels at 100% again. If that's the case, he ends up with somewhere between 8 and 12 rushes in this spot. That projects him to be closer to the 50 number in rushing versus that 40.5 number. So I'll take Daniels over 40.5 rush yards.
You have a very healthy bet on Bo Nix to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Where are you at with that? Did you ever get down on Daniels at all or no?
I did not get down on Daniels. I am just rolling with Bo Nix, and this is a very, very big week for that 16-1 ticket.
Huge for that award.
If we can get the win this week, and I like the Denver team this week to win the game. I'm not going to touch the spread. I think 4.5 is a little bit thick. I would have said maybe 3.5 for Denver, but I do like Denver to win the game, and because of that, I'm going to keep rolling with it, and we'll see what Daniels is able to do against the Saints.
All right. Do you have a horse for us?
Delta down?
Of course I do.
Look.
Right here on top, baby.
All right.
Los Alamitos Thoroughbred,
All right.
race number 8. Give me the number 7 horse, Itzel. We're going to go gate to wire here. This is a horse that is a clear lone speed horse. The 4 is going to be the favorite, probably close to even money when the race goes off. I like the 7 horse who has a tactical advantage from a speed perspective. We're switching from turf to dirt, but we talked about this last time. This is a good racetrack for horses who are turf horses, and we're adding blinkers, which is a big thing for speed horses. It focuses them well, allows them to be able to extend that speed a little longer. So we're going the number 7 Itzel, race number 8 at Los Alamitos Thoroughbred.
Just to win it outright? You want to do anything funny with it? You want to do any exotics at all?
Anything funny?
If I was going to play an exact, I would play a 7-4 Colt. I do think the 4 horse who's your favorite has a very good shot of running in the top 2. Most likely winner in the race, but the price isn't going to be right from a win perspective. I do like the 7 Itzel on top. So I'll play him to win, and then I'd play a 7-4 exacta Colt.
Awesome. Love it. Catch his show, Ready, Set, Bet, Saturday and Sunday nights with Matt Brown right here on VSiN. Mike, that was great. Thanks so much. Good luck this weekend.
You got it, guys. Good luck.
In Pocket plays what we're betting next here on VSiN.
Was on coke if his girlfriend was knocked up.
These games are a burial, a blowout, a human lock. You can bet your children's unborn children on
these games.
I was so good that whenever I bet, I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
All right, here we go. Let's ride. Making in-pocket plays is hard. Hiring Morgan & Morgan is easy. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm with over $20 billion recovered from over 500,000 clients. Morgan & Morgan has a proven track record of fighting to get you full and fair compensation. Submit an injury claim at Morgan & Morgan, so easy. If you're ever injured, check it out. Morgan & Morgan, their fee is free unless they win. For more info, go to forthepeople.com/bestbets or dial #law. Pound 529 from your cell. Forthepeople.com/bestbets or #law. Pound 529 from your cell. Great to have them all season. Here we go. Tennessee plus 7.5. We are a week away from Notre Dame, Indiana. This thing will be kicking off in an hour. In a week from today. Can't wait. See what the weather looks like. Army, Navy, under 40. We're down to 38, back up. I don't get it. 16, 1-1 underrun in this matchup.
You should add more to it then, right?
Yeah. Cal Lane 4 against UNLV. That was 1, then it was 5. Now the quarterback's in the portal. Issues with the left tackle, injuries. It was a fade against no UNLV and no Odom. That's next Wednesday. LA Bowl. Florida Lane 12 against Tulane. They should put it on December 20th with Sunbelt Billy. We've been over that. Now we're ready to all the new. Got a plethora of picks here, a good mix, eclectic mix. Hunter Henry over 44.5 receiving yards, 8+ targets, 3 games in a row. Drake May's go-to guy. May over 26.5 rushing yards. Got hooked in one of them, but coming back with that as well. Miller, anytime touchdown, plus 150 with the Saints. Still could be a blowout scenario, and he'll be the guy at the goal line after what he did against the Giants as well. Jonnu Smith over 45.5 receiving yards. Finally had a loser last week, but again, it was just a weird game where he goes 4 catches in overtime in the game-winning touchdown.
Tell me about it.
Come on, McDaniel. Where was he earlier? Josh Allen over 40.5 rushing yards. We've been over it. The Dan Campbell stats the last 3 years against rushing mobile quarterbacks. Horrendous. And we ran down the game logs. Thielen continues to eat and deliver since he came back. Over 50.5 against the Cowboys. Bryce Young's go-to guy now. We've done this before with A.J. Brown. Complaining about lack of touches. Let's get the passing game going. Bam, big game. Just need 80.5 against the Steelers. You can ladder him as well. I think he has a big game and gets his passing game on track, and then why would you want to pound Barkley early on when Pittsburgh's top 5 run defense? Robinson should go off for Washington. Over 77.5 rushing yards, a big workload with Eckler hurt. Chase Brown, I said I was going to do it every week. Had an easy winner on Monday night against the Cowboys. Over 30.5 receiving yards against Tennessee. Broncos lane 4. Sean Payton off the bye. 66% going back. Huge game for the Broncos lane 4 with a win. 92% chance to make the playoffs. We're going to the England Championship League, the league under the Premier League. Coventry, $1.40 against Hull City. Hull City, go back and look at their game log. They have been dreadful. How bad they've been. They haven't won since October 1st. Can't believe the price. Also, going to piggyback with the meat man, Blackburn, plus 115, opposing Luton. And they're a mess right now, and Blackburn is hot. And we said it earlier, League One, the top of the table. Best team, Wickham. Only $1.30 against the worst team, Shrewsbury Town. Got to play it on principle. Had a winner with it a couple weeks ago. Right back, the best against the worst, Wickham League One.
Dude, can you reach out to Meat Man and figure out what the story is with that? What did you say?
Travel's tough? I don't know.
29-point differential is what you said?
29 point. Well, one team's got 40, the other one has 11. Shrewsbury Town's dreadful.
And that's League One.
League One.
Yeah, that's going to move because I'm seeing other books minus 145 on that already. No good. This is what happens when most of your bets are positive outcomes and you have a stink bomb. You lose a lot. Jennings over 70.5 last night. That was a loser.
What a weird game. Could you believe it? I can't. Forget about the 400-1 no touchdown.
I couldn't. What really is not sitting well with me today is the Purdy INT late in the game.
Oh, it was a bad
I just can't get how bad the decision was out of my head. What is he doing? You're driving down the field to go and take the lead, and you throw that up? The decision-making overall was, he was so bad last night.
Yep.
And I honestly, as I've gotten older, I don't like to overreact to like game by game stuff. And this guy can't play. That game last night, and they got a huge decision. And I don't think you give that guy 50. I wouldn't give him $50 million anyway. But I wouldn't give most of these quarterbacks $50 million. So whatever. Cade Cunningham, 20-plus points, 7-plus assists, 5-plus rebounds, was even money last night. I broke that down on the show several times. He is hitting those numbers at an alarming rate. They just got their doors blasted last night, and he was sitting on the pine, riding pine for most of the game in the second half. The one thing that he had 18 points, everything else got there. Iowa team, I almost lost this one. Did you see how this played out? It took like a miracle in the final couple of minutes. Yeah. They had 44. Anyway, Iowa team total got there over 77.5, and they blew the game.
Yeah.
So that one won. Here's what we have pending. Spurs Knicks over 225.5 on Christmas Day. Tennessee plus 7.5 in the first round against Ohio State. Other bets that I got this week. And I'll be adding more on the picks page at vsin.com throughout the weekend. The problem is a lot of these player props are still unavailable based on injuries here on Friday. But Isaiah Davis, I don't know if this is available or not right now. I put it in immediately today on the picks page. So for those of you that get the updates, hopefully you were able to get down on this one. It came out. I was on Twitter and it came up. Brees Hall's good to go. It totally flipped. It was looking the exact opposite way on Wednesday, like he wasn't even going to play. Now, good to go, positive, promising is the words they're using. Isaiah Davis under 37.5 rushing yards, minus 125. DeAndre Hopkins anytime touchdown, plus 240. The Browns are one of the worst teams in the league against wide receiver number ones. And receivers who are kind of built similarly to Hopkins have had field days against this Brown defense. I went over 44.5 receiving yards with him at anytime touchdown, plus 240. I went Cowboys-Panthers, under the radar here. Both these teams have been excellent going over on the year. Both defenses are horrendous. Huge injury to the Dallas defense again on Monday night. It's been lost because of Bryce Young's turnaround, just how bad the Carolina defense continues to be. Mm-hmm. And that was an outlier last week when I went under. I went over 42.5, and I also had to take the Cowboys plus 3, minus 120. And the Mac Jones INT, in 4 starts this year, he has 5. He had 2 last week. He's minus 129 to throw one in this game against the Jets. Had to bet it for him to throw an INT in that game. And I think we're all caught up.
Yep. Don't forget the first halves also. Carolina, Dallas first half over. Carolina 11-1-1 to the over.
Yep.
This year, the first half, in Houston against Miami. Houston 11-2 ATS this year, first half.
Don't forget about how bad the Eagles have been in the first quarter all year long.
Yes. It is 2-11.
Steelers' first quarter might be worth a bet. I think they're worth a bet at 6 anyway in the game. They're going to be more than likely going to be a contest play for me this week.
0-6 at home? 2-11 overall? Philly? Oh, boy. These are some incredible numbers. Seattle 1-6 at home first half.
I'm trying to find a first quarter right now. Yep, it's out. Philly is, either minus 1.5 or minus 0.5 in the first quarter. You can grab Steelers plus 1.5, but you're going to pay 38 cents, up to 40 cents on that, the way it looks as of right now. But 3-3, boom, I'll take it. What are you looking forward to the most this weekend? Which game? Army-Navy? Bills-Lions? Me waking you up tomorrow at 3:30 in the morning?
Bills, Bills, Lions 1A, Steelers, Eagles 1B.
I think the Sunday window is just because we don't get this all the time. We don't get the
crazy.
5 games late. And how many times do we get late games that are this awesome?
And 4 of them are phenomenal. That's right. Chargers-Tampa's a great game.
Very good game.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on that game.
The Sunday night game's awesome. Hopefully we get weather. It's another good one. Then we got I don't care who, it's still a Monday night doubleheader. So come in, chop it up with humans. He's bringing pizza. It'll be great.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, for what it's worth, the Saturday card in college basketball is phenomenal.
Is it?
Yes.
I haven't even looked.
It's so good.
Anything in the NBA? The prop analyzer didn't have spit much out.
It's a loaded card tonight.
It is.
The Joker points, rebounds, assists is like 55.5, I think, tonight. Uh-huh. But he's going over like every game.
Who plays in college? What are the marquee games?
There's some really good games.
Is there?
I didn't-
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, good
It'll
week,
be
fast
a big
week.
upset. Yeah.
A week from tonight, pal.
A week from tonight. That's right. We'll be getting ready for the pregame of a playoff game. Come on. We're here. We made it. Christmas.
Yep. Hope you all crush it this weekend. We'll see you on Monday.